Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Thomas of Sari Diddy, and today I'm really excited to show you how I like to do foundation paper piecing with flying geese. So you can see I've already put together this block, and I really like this one because it shows a lot of different methods of paper piecing, but for me, I like to fussy cut. So let me show you how I do foundation paper piecing. One of my best tools is having a Lightbox, and I like that I have a translucent cutting pad to go with it. First of all, you should always know that with your pattern, anything you see is going to be the reverse of what you sew. So this is going to be the wrong side of the fabric, and you can see here, wrong side of the fabric. So when it is sewn, it will be the reverse image. So I like to color in all of my pieces, and you can see here, I've colored in with colored pencil what each piece is going to be, so I already know which fabric to prepare for those pieces. So any colored pencils, as long as it's not going to stain your fabric at all, colored pencils are pretty safe. So you can just draw on so you know which ones are going to be what you want. And I know that in this one, the 3 triangles are going to be the focal point of the actual pattern. So I'll use blue pencil, and I'll actually put a circle around the numbers. So that way I know to do those in the special fabric, and also it goes with the actual fabric design that I'm using. So let's come over to the Lightbox. You're going to go ahead and take your pattern. I have the lines facing up, so that is the wrong side of the fabric. So anything you're going to take from your fabric, make sure then that you flip it upside down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and position my geese. You can see that triangle right here, and I'm taking my fabric design so that that little circle is going to fit right inside of there. Take your add a quarter ruler and align it onto the line so you have 1/4 inch hanging over, and I use a friction pen to go ahead and give me where my boundaries are, and that way I know I'm going to be plenty of room when I'm sewing and cutting. So now I've got that, let's bring it over to the cutting pad. I turn the light off so I can actually see the line quickly. And it doesn't have to be a perfect cut. You can actually be a little excessive on those lines. You don't want to go inside, but this way you've got your perfect centered goose. And that is going to be piece number 1. I also take my friction pen and I write piece number 1 up in the corner because I know that that's going to get turned into the seam allowance or cut off. And I start a pile, so piece number 1. Then I'm going to go to piece number 2. Again, make sure it's the wrong side of the fabric. Even though it's a solid, there is a right and a wrong side. I lay it down so I have a 1/4 inch hanging over where 1 and 2 join. And then again, I'm going to give myself a generous 1/4 inch around that piece. I'll write number 2 in the corner. And then I want to see my lines. So I'm cutting, cutting, cutting. There's piece 2. So now I know piece 2, this is the wrong side. When I flip it over, that will be the right side. And so I assembly line all of my pieces. So I have, in this block, there are 9 pieces. I've gone ahead and cut the others here, and I've labeled them 3 through 9. So 1, 2, 3. I've already cut my geese. Flip it over, you can see there's my line here. So here we go. I'm going to move to the machine and show you how to start piecing these together. All right, here we're ready to go ahead and put our block together. I've used some washable glue right underneath on the pattern, stuck my first piece on using my Lightbox to make sure that it is still centered. Give it a press with your roller to put it in place. Now make sure that this is the wrong side of the fabric that you have up, so right sides together. Align your edges. I use a straight pin with a flat head to pin it in place. Piece number 2 is now ready to be sewn down to piece number 1. So you're gonna flip it over and you're on the short stitch length. 1.4 millimeters is what I like to use. And you're sewing directly on that line from point to point. You stop, go ahead and lift it up. I like to have my pressing pad right next to me so that way I can give that seam a really quick flip. And then this way I can trim it with my cardstock and my add a quarter ruler. Trim it, flip it, and you can piece number 3. So come back next week and I'm gonna show you how to turn this block, which has been pieced with all 9 pieces, into an actual project.